I can't hear you properly.
Just a second. Okay, hopefully you can hear me better now.
Yeah.
Actually, we are having some construction work beside, so that's what is the problem.
No problem. Actually, now it is clear, so you don't need to worry much. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, sir. You can go ahead. Like as I told, we other students they said like they can join in the evening. So let's see how it goes for the evening. So she's the only one student now. For we'll go ahead. Okay.
Okay.
You can share the screen.
So hi Shravani, can you see my screen now?
Yeah, I can see it. And Siva, are you working in Selenium or you work in Java?
I work in, I'm a QA automation only.
Oh, QA automation. Okay.
So
And
Selenium,
how many years of experience do you have?
I have 8+ of years.
Okay.
So I heard that you're already working in manual, right?
Yes, I worked in manual for more than 7 years.
Okay.
And now it's time for me to upgrade because I just finished my assignment last Friday.
Okay. So,
Yeah.
so what is your knowledge levels on, as you already worked in a real-time industry, so have you come through this Selenium or tasks or Java, anything that sort of things?
See, as a tester, manual tester, I was completely, I worked in UI testing and backend, a lot of SQL and everything. But unit testing, haven't done unit testing. But
Oh,
in our client place, they used to use an automation tool called Sahi tool, which uses JavaScript.
okay.
So I did get insight to look in and out, but never got chance to completely work on it because I'm not a coder. I was a management student. I was never into
The,
technically very good in coding and all.
the problem with these tools is, right, so they are specific to an organization. That tool, maybe the other organization, if you change the company, they might use it and they might not use it.
Which one, the
So
Selenium or?
yes, the tool which you said, no,
Yeah,
any
see,
tool based.
Sahi, I know that Sahi tool was specifically used by our client, and
Yeah,
there
yeah,
is no value outside because,
yeah,
yeah, I know that.
yeah.
And
So
in order for me to get a job, I need skills of Selenium because that's widely used in most of the clients.
that's what I was saying. So always the open sources which are available, right? So we should have good command on those things. So Selenium is
Hmm.
universal. Java is obviously universal.
Yes, yes.
So anything tool based, right? Where we will be struggling a lot. So now our client has switched to you're aware of AI, right? Automation anywhere.
Which one? What?
Automation anywhere. RPA.
RPI.
RPA, robotic process automation.
Yeah, I did hear about it, robotic process. Yeah.
So
So you
that
guys,
yeah, now we have to learn those things. Currently I'm doing a certification on that. So that is restricted, that won't have any good future. We won't have any future because maybe other organization which I move on.
may not have that.
So that is the problem with the tools. But this open source, right? Java,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
all these are universal.
Okay, okay. Yeah.
So anyway, so the first thing, I just want to give a brief intro about testing. Obviously, it will be,
Mm-hmm.
you are all aware of these things. So
Mm-hmm.
test is nothing but it is an activity of verifying if our actual meets the
Expected.
expected. So if our actual is meeting what we are expecting, then obviously we will say that our test case has.
Passed.
Okay. So in manual sort of thing, what we actually do is that suppose if we want to test in a Facebook automation, Facebook thing in manual way.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So the first thing, we'll open our URL and we'll provide. So there are going to be different scenario test cases here. Both
Yes.
one invalid, one valid, one invalid, or both invalid. So such scenarios will be there, 4 to 5 scenarios.
Yes.
We'll go with a valid one. So I'm providing username and valid password.
Mm-hmm.
Then when I click on login,
Mm-hmm.
so our expected is that,
It
so I'm
will,
providing, it
yeah,
will have to a Facebook inbox or something like
yes,
Facebook dash.
yes.
So this is the manual process how we'll do. We'll
Mm-hmm.
just execute this and track all the notes of this. Yes, this test case is part or actual has meted expected or not, whether the test is passed or failed. So this is the
Yes.
manual stuff for which we do.
Yes.
So the problem with the manual stuff is that regression testing. You're aware of regression testing, right? So
Yes.
suppose in future again we want to run the same test case. So we need to do the same manual activity again.
Yes.
Yeah. So in order to avoid this thing, it's better to go the automation way where we write script at once and we can execute any number of times any.
Yes. That's right.
So how do we do this in automation way? So in manual way, we know that this is the username, this is the password, and this is the login button.
Mm-hmm.
In automation, how does your script know? How does your Java Selenium script know that hey, exactly this is the point where your email box is, exactly this is the point where your password box is, and this is the login button.
Mm-hmm.
So suppose if I want to call you, I have to tell that yes, Shravani. So we have a unique names to identify ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
Similarly, in Selenium, we do have locators to locate these things. Like how Selenium provides locators.
Okay. Like elements, right? You mean,
And one point that I want to mention that by using Selenium, so we'll be using Selenium WebDriver.
okay.
So Selenium WebDriver is used for automating only web applications.
Okay. Okay. Not desktop applications.
Desktop applications are not supported by Selenium. So we can
Selenium WebDriver. Okay.
some third-party tools we can use.
Mm-hmm.
Selenium WebDriver's sole purpose is to automate web applications. And everything that is present on the web page, we can
Okay.
automate.
Okay.
Yeah. So we'll be dealing with Selenium WebDriver. So now everybody are using Selenium WebDriver. So earlier there is few more like Selenium RC.
What is Selenium RC? Robotic? Is it? What's the full form of RC?
Remote control.
Okay.
Selenium Grid. We have
Mm-hmm.
Selenium RC. We have Selenium Grid. So these are also in existence only.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So what they use for desktop applications?
So we have Selenium IDE. Really, we can't automate directly using Selenium WebDriver the web desktop application. So for using this, we have robot classes.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay.
Robot classes, and we have some third-party tools, right? We can integrate with Selenium WebDriver to automate that.
Okay. Okay.
Like if you want to upload a file, you need to select that file, right?
Mm-hmm.
Window will appear that select the path of the file. In that cases, you can use robot classes.
Oh, okay.
But
Okay.
Selenium WebDriver's sole purpose is to automate only web applications.
Okay. Okay.
And you
Got
can't even do few things like captchas. You're aware of captchas, right? Which we get.
Capatch? No. What is it?
I'm not sure I have written the correct spelling or not.
Mm-hmm.
When you're trying to log in into something, it will just ask us to verify if you're human or not. This one.
Okay. Okay. Got it.
We can't even automate this type of things.
So it is, I mean, even Selenium WebDriver also cannot automate these kind of functionality.
No, we can't. We can't directly automate these things.
Okay, okay.
Okay.
But these are used in specific kind of applications.
Yeah.
Like, you know, yeah.
Yeah, when you're registering some form or trying to log in,
Yes.
it does. In
Yes.
that
Got it.
cases, in that cases, we need to use some third-party tools to
Okay.
automate.
So
Or maybe,
in
or
that
maybe,
scenario, do you just because everything cannot be automated, right? So in those kind of scenarios, do you ignore those kind of functionalities, or you do automate using something else?
yeah, we do automate. I think ignoring is not the correct way. So what we have two solutions. Either the third-party tool, or the
Mm-hmm.
solution is a bit illogical. Is that we just stop our script at that point. We enter the text that capture manually and continue with the automation script again.
Okay, okay. Yeah, yeah, I got it. You know, that's how the automation scripts, you know, not everything can be automated. So some steps are manually inserted in the script.
So at that point, we will stop the script at that point and we'll provide the key manually, and then again it will run from the flow as usual. So
But
that,
will it run, will the whole script run, or will it cause failures in between?
no, no, it will run. It will run.
It will run. Okay.
We will add some time delay, so that meanwhile we can enter the time, we can enter that capture.
Yes, yes, I got it. Okay.
That's so. So this is some brief thing about Selenium WebDriver.
Mm-hmm.
So now, how do you identify? We stopped at this point. So how do you identify these elements now?
Mm-hmm.
So this is called a web page, and all these web
Okay.
elements are called web elements.
Okay.
So this is a text box. This is a web element. This is a submit button. This is also a web element. This is a link.
Mm-hmm.
So radio buttons, everything within the web page, we treat them as web elements.
Got it.
And our purpose is to deal with this web elements. So perform some actions on these web elements.
Mm-hmm. Got it.
So locating. So if we are able to locate the elements, then 90% of our job is done. That is the only critical thing in Selenium.
Okay.
Identifying
Elements. Web elements.
Identifying the web elements.
Okay.
If you are fine with identifying the web elements, then you have done 90% of your script is over. Because the remaining things are same. Click and submit. So these are the basic operations: sending your data and clicking it. That's it. Nothing else there is.
But yeah, what about enhancing your script, like a lot of conditions,
Yeah.
and those all will enhance the script, right? Apart from the web elements, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So if you are good at identifying, then those things I don't think will really bother you, because that's the same that same scenario we'll be using at multiple places. So we'll be getting that. But the web elements, right? All the developers will not provide a simple way to identify this web elements. There will be a complex way where we might not directly identify.
So you mean, you say that, you know, once we identify a web element, it might work first. It might run initially, but sometimes it fails because every element is unique, right? Every web element is unique, uniquely identified.
It is unique, but it is you might have two elements with the same name. Within this page also, you might have two elements with the same name.
So how do we identify then?
That is what we have to write our own locator. So that element is like in a class we have multiple guys with the same name. Similarly, page there will be multiple elements might contain the same name, same factor to identify. So in that you should write such a way that it should be identified uniquely.
Okay.
So that's what our role is here.
Okay.
You should avoid duplicates. Ensure that no two elements are having the same
Having the same proper value. I mean, sorry, same
locator.
identification. Okay.
So for this, Selenium has provided us locators. Using locators, we can identify the web elements. But not all web elements are straightforwardly located. So the different types of locators that we have are name, ID, link text, partial text, CSS selector,
Mm-hmm.
XPath, class name, and the final one is by tag name. So we hardly use this tag name.
So which
Okay.
one is the
So
most used locator? ID?
ID is the most used one, and CSS selector is the fastest
Okay.
among. And XPath is the slowest, and it's in most cases it is avoided.
Mm-hmm.
But if no any other option, then we go with the XPath. So XPath takes a lot of time.
Okay, to identify that web element, right?
Yes. Yeah, CSS selector is the fastest,
Fastest. Okay.
the most commonly used one.
Okay. So ID for example, each web element, there'll be a unique ID, right?
Yeah,
Okay. Sometimes you can have the same ID. Then we
yeah.
can look for CSS selector.
The most cases where we have duplicate is the names. In names, there might be two elements with this, like how we have the same names, multiple persons. Similarly, element name should be in most cases avoid either go with ID.
Okay.
If you want to go with CSS selector, you can go with name, but you should ensure that there is no two elements with the same name in that page.
Mm-hmm.
So how do we identify? Now we know what are the different locators.
Okay.
So do you have some knowledge on HTML, right?
Yeah,
Markup
I do.
language.
Yeah, I do.
That's a bonus here then. So
Inspect.
just right click and go to inspect.
Okay, got it.
So when you do go to inspect, you will get your HTML code.
Mm-hmm.
Your element which you right clicked, right, it will get highlighted here. So this is the code for that.
Okay.
So see, if I just remove it, that will get the blue color will be gone. It will not get highlighted the email. When I go to this tag, it will get highlighted.
Yeah, that means you're pointing to the right locator of
Right
whatever
element.
you want to. Okay.
Not locator, the element. We have
Element.
to find the locator now. So
Okay.
right, input is your tag name. So HTML consists of tags. So input is your tag name. Okay. And this type you write type class. So whatever thing you see in yellow color or orange color, right?
Mm-hmm.
Name, ID, these are called as attributes.
Mm-hmm.
And the blue color ones where you see equal to something, right? These are the values. So how
Those are the
values. So how it will consist that tag name. Then we'll have attributes
okay.
by their value.
Mm-hmm.
Tag name, attribute, value. So in this case, attributes, there can be any number of attributes. So input was our tag name with the example which we saw, and we have many attributes. Like how we saw. So this is the tag name. Starting one is the tag name, and all these are attributes.
Okay.
So whatever is there after equal to, right, we call that as value.
Got it.
An attribute which consists of value called email.
Mm-hmm.
Name is an attribute which consists of a value called email. ID is an attribute. So this way. So now we have 6 locators, name, ID. So just search if you have such attribute called name or ID.
Mm-hmm.
So do you find anything called name and ID? Any attribute with that name?
Yeah.
Yeah, we have name.
There is, right? ID also is there.
So this element can be located by using the locator called name or ID also.
ID. Yeah.
Okay. And how to identify it? Its value is email. Okay. So now we inspect password, the same thing. Right click and password got highlighted. So search if there is any of these attributes which I told, name or ID.
There is, right? Name and ID.
There is also ID. So if there are both, better go with ID. The first preference ID.
ID. Okay.
So these are the text boxes. But if you see here, this login button is different. But any web element will consist of the same thing, tag name and attributes. So if you see there are anything unique, I mean any locator which we saw, name, there is no name.
There is no name, there is no ID.
So there is ID here, there is ID.
There is ID here, yeah.
So you can identify using this.
Using this, okay.
So this is the way we locate so I'll just show a script, but don't be bothered about what's within the script right now.
Okay.
So this is the minimum. You just need these 3 lines of code to write perform the test case, whether you're able to log in or not.
Mm-hmm.
See, this is the locator. So how you're
I can't see your script.
You're not able
Are you
to
sharing? Are you sharing?
just a second.
Okay.
So hopefully,
Yeah. Got it.
so these 3 lines consists of our test case. That is checking if a user is valid or not, able to log into FB or not.
Okay.
See, I identified by using name.
Okay.
That I will call name. So I can change this to ID. ID is also same, right? ID pass I told. So let IDs and values pass. So you should just identify the attribute and its value. You should do these things. Okay. So I'll just run this script. See how easy it is. Just 3 lines of code. No need to write preconditions, post condition, expected, and all these things. It will take a bit time the browser to launch.
It is browser compatible, right? For Selenium, you can do in any browser, right?
Any browser, cross browser,
Okay.
platforms as well, any operating system. So here we see Facebook page has opened on its own, and now you will see the values get populated in this email and see and it clicked on login. So I provided invalid username and password, so it will not go to the dashboard, but it will go to some other page.
Got it.
Okay. So this is the way we do identify the web elements.
Okay.
If we are identifying the web elements, then most of our task is done. So we covered these 2 things. There are few more selected based on the requirements.
Okay.
The thing but we should be familiar with is Java. So Java is the thing that will trouble us a bit, but obviously, so once you're on the line on if you're able to understand things, it will be very easy. And one thing, you don't need the advanced Java as a QA. We must know the basic things in Java.
Okay.
Okay. So the conditions. The conditions, as you said, we have multiple conditions like if else. So these things and loops. These 2 are the major things we need to know. The rest is a bit very easy. For everything is easy. These 2 things are
little complicated.
Selenium will be using this commonly altogether, especially the loops. Okay, we should be sure with this loop level things.
Okay.
We'll be starting with the normally we do start with the Java stuff, the code, and we'll be doing multiple programs. Even though our programs we don't need at that level, but we need to write programs on our own. We should do the logic. Logical thinking is the main aim of our program Java. If you are thinking, then we are obviously fine. So once we are done with this core Java, we'll be starting the Selenium stuff.
Okay, so initially first we'll do the Java, like core Java.
Yeah, without core Java, obviously you can't, even though if you can write, but you will not know what is what in this.
Okay.
So core Java is essential for us first. We should start with Java.
What do you mean by programs?
Yeah, so programs. So if you go to any interview, right, obviously you will be attending interviews, and normally what they ask is that they will ask few basic level of programs. Even though we are from the QS testing side and we are new automation, asking a basic level of program like
okay, that you will teach me, right?
Reversing a string, like finding the prime numbers, what are the prime numbers.
Mhm.
So we do have these sort of things, or else counting a particular word in a sentence. So how many times that word is being repeated. So these type of programs we should be familiar with, even though that's not compulsory, but I do go in this approach because logical thinking is the best thing. If we're sure with the logic, we can write any program.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Once we are done with this, once we start with the Selenium, so we'll do n number of examples. So you'll be having daily. I usually give the daily sort of programs and tasks so that you won't get switched off from here to there, or you won't. So you'll be in constant touch with this Selenium. Then we have POM model. That is the page object which the industries are following. Page object model. It is the framework. So have you heard about it? Page object model.
Not the model, but frameworks, yeah.
So
but how it works, I don't know. This one, POM model.
in that frameworks, they use this page object model approach only.
Okay.
So what this does is that it separates your locators and scripts.
Okay.
So the locators are written differently and your test scripts are written differently. So what this, that suppose if your this locator is changed right in the future,
you can just go there and change it. I think
just change it here instead of writing within the test scripts and
got it. So it's like a library, right? Function library or something, right?
That's what. So if there are multiple scripts this element is using, so you need to change here and here also. But if you are maintaining a separate way the locators, you can directly change here. It will get reflected in all other scripts.
Got it. Okay.
Page object. So before that, one more disadvantage of Selenium is that it doesn't provide any results.
No, it doesn't provide any
results, reports.
Then how do we know that the script ran correctly?
So this is our program. It got successfully completed, but it neither should success nor fail. So for this, we need to use TestNG framework. So TestNG framework provides. So this is the TestNG. So if you just run, it will show how many passed, how many failed, how many got skipped.
Okay. So this is it's a part of Selenium tool, or we have to.
It's a TestNG framework is a separate. We can just use it integrated with Selenium and use it.
Oh, okay.
So and it provides some results like. I'm not quite sure if there is any to show you.
So I didn't know about this one. I was thinking that it does give the summary of whether the test case passed or not in Selenium.
Selenium doesn't give anything such.
Okay.
The other thing that we do cover is that in extended reports. This framework, how many tests run within that suite it will provide. So suppose if we need to maintain some graphical way, so it's a textual way, it doesn't provide graphic sort of thing. So if you want to put a graphical way on total number of cases executed, how many passed, how many failed, so that we can provide to the client for better viewing. In that way, we use extended reports. So when you use extended report, it will be this sort. Just opening this. Okay. It will be this sort will get our results. So this is normally yeah. So if you see this, I have run around cases and that 3 have failed. 4 cases and 3 failed.
This way, it is easy for anybody to check how many test cases have passed and failed.
So this is extended reports. So this is also a third party. We can integrate with our Selenium and to display a better graphic representation of our results. So testing doesn't provide such graphics. It's just a normal way. How many passed, how many failed. So if you want to maintain such reports, then you have to use extend reports. So this is the real time also. There, everyone will be obviously using extend reports on it. So for better representation of your cases.
Mhm.
And we'll be doing multiple real-time examples. And when we start page object model, we'll cover an end-to-end. We have something like Mercury Tours, a website called Mercury Tours. We have a Redbus. So all these examples we'll be doing.
Okay.
SpiceJet. So all this, why I'm particularly telling these sites is that they contain a bit typical way of locating elements, not the straightforward way.
Mhm.
Forward examples will no way help you also. We need an elements which should be challenging for us.
Okay.
So these are the things normally we do cover in our Selenium and Core Java. Right? So anything up to here, Shavani, which you want to ask or which you want to know?
No, it's good intro you gave me, Shiva, because I just know, like, basic about elements and objects and, coding. Very, very, very little. But yeah, definitely, if more information is given, it is very helpful too. So this demo is giving me a recap of automation scripts. So yeah, so we do maintain function library, right, Siva?
Yeah, we do.
Okay, so we create functions and we reuse them in our script, right?
Yeah. Not functions. In C, we call it as functions, but in Java, in object-oriented programming, we call them as methods.
Okay, method. Okay. So, and then do we run in the same, is that the scenario file where we run the scripts, or how do we run the scripts?
We do, usually will run directly in this way. Whatever we wrote will directly run, but going forward, when you come to TestNG, right? So TestNG provides us a suite file. So to run multiple test cases.
Okay, we have to create a suit.
So this is a suite file, for example. So this is a test. In this test, we are covering execution of this file. So similarly, we can do multiple tests, and we can write inside multiple classes inside these tests. Maintain a suite file. So in real time, you will be running through the suite file, not directly through the code which you have written.
Okay, okay.
It's under TestNG. So I told you somewhere TestNG related. Yeah, TestNG framework. So
Okay.
create suits and run multiple cases together. And TestNG is so helpful that you can keep few test cases.
Which we don't need.
Which you don't need. And even you can group test cases. So you can create multiple groups and you can add those test cases in groups.
Okay.
If you want to add only, if you want to run only the login functionality things, you can create a group called login and create or run all the scripts which belong to that login. It provides such compatibility this TestNG.
Okay. Got it.
And even you can add priorities. So which test cases to be executed first, to be executed last, you can set priorities as well.
Like after every deployment, we have to set up few regression scripts to be run after every deployment. So we can create that and immediately run after the deployment so that nothing failed or nothing changed, to just make sure. Okay. Yeah.
And also do integrate this with Jenkins also.
Yeah, Jenkins. Yeah, where you
CI continuous
once you check in your code there, right? And then
so once you have committed your code, anyone has done some changes and made some commits, the test cases will run.
Automatically run, right?
Yeah. So if there is any issues with their code, right, that build will fail. So it will be in Jenkins, and you can send an email also to the guys.
Got it. Yeah. Maybe introduction to this also will really helpful.
Yeah, we do cover this also.
Okay, good. Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah.
Can you just maybe Samir can send me an email of what will be covering up and all that.
Yeah, sure. Samir has it with him. He will forward it. Just remind him once.
Sure.
Even I will remind him once and forward you the thing.
Things. Yeah. Thank you so much, Siva. And what time works for you for
Regular classes timings.
So maybe I have to discuss with Samir, right? About
No,
this thing?
no. Let me know, Shravani, here itself. Like, what is the convenient time? You said like you are good to take the classes in the morning hours, right?
Yeah, morning out so that I can practice later.
Yes.
Uh,
So is it fine for you, sir? Like, okay. What I'll do is, Shravani, I'll discuss with the trainer also. So accordingly, we'll work. Most probably, the trainer can work with you in the morning hours. That's fine.
okay.
Samir,
Oh,
is it 6:30 in the morning? Is it okay? Just
6:30. You said our timing,
Indian
sir.
time. I will always tell India timing only. I'm not sure about your time
Okay.
zone.
So 6:30 Indian time will be 9 o'clock in the morning Eastern. Is that work for
Okay.
you, Shravani? 9 a.m. Eastern time?
9 a.m. our time.
Do one thing, Shravani, just give Samir 2-3 slots which you are available.
Mm.
Or 5-6 anyone. Yeah, what do you say,
Okay.
Samir?
Let me let me give the timing and then you can check at your end too.
Okay,
Yeah.
sure, Shravani.
Sounds good. Yeah. Thank you, Siva, for the presentation,
Thank you.
for the
Thank you.
demo.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Samir.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you.